Welcome everyone. This is going to be a tutorial video on my fast Smoothstone generator. It generates 150 stone per minute, and this is actually version 2 of this generator. Version 1 I used in my Minecraft Over Engineering episode 2 video, but it had some issues where sometimes cobblestone would be created on the sides and it would make the cobblestone stop or go slower. This is version 2 where I've actually addressed those issues, and this one I have not seen mess up one time yet. It actually is a self-repairing Smoothstone generator. And so let's take a look how that works. So this is how version 1 worked. The lava would fall onto the water and turn it to Smoothstone, and then when the piston pushed the stone out of the way, it would generate another one. And that works as long as the water gets here first. If the lava gets there first, I'll show you what happens. And this can happen sometimes. It's not very common, but it does sometimes happen that the lava could flow downwards first and then the water goes in from the side and we get cobblestone. And that cobblestone is just going to completely mess up this system because it's blocking the water completely, and that this generator is now dead. So I looked into the issue and I did some experimenting, and I found a really easy solution to this. If we just let that lava flow down one extra block, watch what happens when the water flows into it. We get nothing, which is great because as soon as this piston goes off next time, it repairs itself. So that's what I've implemented into this Smoothstone generator design. And so let's get building. We're going to start with a tower of 4 blocks and then a ring that is 7 by 7. In the middle of each of these sides, we're going to put a regular piston. And then behind each piston, we need to put a obsidian or a furnace or a chest, anything that can't get pushed by a piston. And then a block on top of each piston. Next, we're going to put in a floor, and you can use any block you like here that won't burn. I like to use glass just so we can see what's going on. And you notice that I've left a gap below each piston and in the very center. In the middle we're going to put another normal piston, and then underneath we're going to put a block under each piston and then a block underneath that hole. Now we can put in water into just the very 4 corners. And then we can actually put a cover on it. Again, we leave the ones above the pistons and the one in the very center. Now we can put lava in here, and we should see that Smoothstone start to generate already. And now we're going to wire this up. First we're going to put a sticky piston right there with a block on it, and then we're going to turn this ring into one big clock. Then we're going to wire up the bottom. We'll put a block on this sticky piston, a block here, and a repeater going into that block, a redstone dot on there. So this repeater will power that dot, which will power this block and that piston. And then we're going to make a ring of redstone all the way around here. This piston in the middle is going to have to fire 4 times as fast as these pistons here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the signal from each of those pistons and put them all into that ring. So we're going to do that by putting a redstone dot on the obsidian here, going one across, putting a repeater on it. That repeater will go into a block, and that will power this redstone down here, and then that will run into the ring. And we're just going to do that on all 4 sides. All we've got to do now is add an on-off switch. So we're going to build a monostable circuit here. This lever will power that redstone, which will power both that torch and this repeater set to 3. They both go to this wire, and they will go to a torch. So this monostable circuit will generate a 1-tick pulse and inject it into the clock. At the same time, this piston will push up, completing the clock. When we turn off the lever, the piston will come down and that'll interrupt the clock. So I'm just going to break this so we don't interfere with it while that pulses like that, and then I'll put it back. So let's try this out. That seems to be working good. Now if you wanted to redirect this Smoothstone somewhere else, if you wanted to push it off to the side, for example, you could do that. You just have to set up a piston to push it. When you do that, you will want to run it from this ring right here and go 2 ticks later than this piston right here. So this piston's already on a 1-tick delay from this ring. So if you put 3 single-tick repeaters and run it up to a piston pushing that way, for example, you'd end up with the stone going that way. Then if you wanted that stone to go somewhere else, you'd have to have another piston on an additional 2 ticks delay. And then you could just push the stone wherever you want it. So that's it. I hope some of you find this useful, but until next time, thanks for watching.